What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy live with another Fallout 76 video, and in today's video I'm talking about what are the top 5 weapons in Fallout 76. Now I will have two honorable mentions in the beginning of the video, but aside from that, these are the top 5 weapons I believe are the most meta-defining weapons in the game, and every player should have at least all 5 of these in their arsenal at any point in time. So if you're a newer player, these are definitely the top 5 weapons worth grabbing because they're going to be good now and in the future more than likely. So without further ado, I'm gonna get straight into the video. Not wasting anybody's time here. If you agree with my list, let me know down in the comments. If you disagree, also let me know if there's something you think that should have been on here that wasn't. This is an open discussion. Feel free to share your ideas down below and why you think it should or should not be on the list. And with that, let's get straight into the video. Coming in as our first honorable mention, we have the Cold Shoulder. Now, this might be a little bit controversial putting this down, below on the list, but give me a moment to explain. So the Cold Shoulder is a weapon that you can get from either the stamps vendor or you can get it from the marketplace for like, what would it be, maybe like 700 atoms without the discount. The stamps vendor is over here. This is a picture of him. It's Giuseppe over in the what do they call it now? The White Springs Refuge. So you'll have to buy it with stamps. I think it might be around 500 stamps, but in any case, this weapon is very powerful. The longer you shoot an enemy, the more cryo stacks you will apply, and as you can see, this Scorch Beast is barely moving. This thing does put out a lot of damage in or outside of VATS. It's just a very reliable weapon. If you're a newer player, if you have the ability to craft this thing, it'll make your level up grind extremely easy. This weapon is very powerful, has a lot of range on it surprisingly, and it's just a good weapon to have overall. The cryo effect really makes it come in handy in public events or even like the raid, for example, because you can shoot the bosses, and if you're just continuously shooting them, not even using VATS, just free firing this thing, if you're hitting your shots, you're going to slow down the boss for the entire lobby, making it easier for them to just slam into the boss and just bring the thing down really without any trouble whatsoever. So for those reasons, I give it the second place on the honorable mentions. Moving on to our other honorable mention, it is the Pepper Shaker. So this is a weapon that is a full auto heavy weapon shotgun type of weapon. It has a wind up time, it has several different barrels on it, several different ammo types. It has plasma, laser, and I think just ballistic. But this thing is very powerful if you have the right build for it. I'm not using an optimized build in this gameplay you see in the background, so it doesn't look like it's doing that great. But with an optimized build, as many people have shown on YouTube before, this thing will absolutely destroy raid bosses. It's just a complete menace of a weapon. I don't have it higher on the list because the magazine size only being 50 means you have to reload this thing pretty frequently, and it does have a long reload. And aside from that, being a shotgun, it doesn't have good range, so it's not going to work in every single situation in the game. And then lastly, my personal thoughts on it is that the weapon just feels very clunky. The wind up time on this thing makes it feel really bad. Especially in third person, because it makes it hard to tell when your weapon's actually charging and when it's not. So for those reasons, I can't put it on the main list, but it is without a doubt a beast of a weapon, and if you are able to get into optimal range, this thing will absolutely destroy anything you pointed at. So in our number 5 spot, we have the Icebreaker. This was a previous season pass exclusive weapon. It is a harpoon gun, a unique version of one that applies cryo damage and slows enemies whenever they die. It leaves behind like a cloud of smoke that when they walk into it, they will get frozen and slow down. So what makes this weapon so good? So it being the harpoon gun, it's able to apply the bleed effect if you put on the right modifications, which lets you take advantage of the perk Wound Salter. So not many weapons in the game can proc that, really only melee weapons, but it'll give you plus 30% damage to bleeding targets. On top of that, it also applies a cryo stack, so you can take advantage of Deal Sealer because 2 impairments your target will have is cryo and bleed. So you'll have an additional 50% damage on anything you're shooting as long as you're shooting it with this weapon. That's pretty substantial. I know weapon buffs in this game tend to not really give you the full percentage because I think it's all additive. But, I mean, free damage is free damage, right? And what makes this even better is the fact that you don't have to use this weapon exclusively. So if you're on a team with somebody with this weapon, if they shoot the boss, they can apply a 50% damage buff essentially for their whole team. And if they want to swap to something like a heavy incinerator, well, now you can go and apply an extra 10% from the flame damage and just rotate between those two weapons. But you can also do this by playing solo, because you can shoot the target and then swap to your main weapon, unload all the ammo you can unload in 12 seconds, because that's how long the bleed effect lasts, and then swap back to this weapon and shoot them again. So just overall a very powerful weapon, not to mention the fact that it has a similar effect to the cold shoulder shotgun, because if you just keep shooting the same target over and over again, the slow stacks are going to increase over time, and the target is going to move slower and slower. Now this doesn't apply it quite as good as the cold shoulder because you only have 3 shots, but regardless, it's a very powerful effect just to have on your team. So if you're looking to play more of a supporting role in Fallout 76, with the rework to the Medic's legendary effect, it doesn't make it as like enticing of a playstyle, but you can use a weapon like this and become like a debuffer slash buffer for your group, while also allowing them to do damage easier because the target isn't moving as much, and if they're not moving as much because they're slowed down, they're also attacking less. So it just makes your team fights a lot easier. So for those reasons, I have this weapon at a number 5, because it's just a very powerful team-oriented weapon, and it does have the ability to pop off even if you are a solo player, if you want to use the weapon itself or swap it with another weapon and just do like damage swap rotations. Whoa, hello, live from the future here. So at number 3, I had the Enclave Plasma Rifle. This weapon is just overall a beast of a weapon. It doesn't need to be the Enclave variant specifically. You could use the normal variant and still get the same results, but the Enclave one does do more damage. So the thing with this weapon is that it has the ability to put on a scope and can take advantage of the scoped weapon perks, like I think one's called Sharp Shot, Smart Shot, something like that, where you aim down sights and then you can do more weak point damage. So this is a weapon people used to use all the time for farming things like the first boss of the raid before they made it more difficult to do so. But the difficulty from that aspect just comes from taking on the shield and not actually, damaging the boss, because this weapon will just destroy the boss. The one in the gameplay right now you're seeing is actually just a regular Enclave or a regular Plasma Flamer. So lets you know that even the normal version is more than enough to get the job done, and this thing just puts out an insane amount of damage. The Enclave Plasma Flamer just overall is a beast of a weapon. If you're able to be in range, you could just really just hose anybody with this thing. It's just that good of a weapon, and I highly recommend everybody have one in their arsenal, because you never know when you're going to need it. But if you're in a situation where it can pop off, it's going to do the job better than like really any weapon in the game. Now, coming in at number 3, we have the Compound Bow. Not to be confused with the crossbow or the regular bow. The Compound Bow, while it does shoot slower, packs way more of a punch, and this thing is without a doubt my favorite weapon in the entire game. My favorite playstyle is the bow playstyle, especially since the rework, and you're not going to regret getting one of these things. I think everybody should have one. At least you should have an armory, or not armory, my fault, a loadout dedicated to this, because you never know when you're going to be in a situation when you actually need to have like super high levels of ad clear, and if you're in that situation, the bow is without a doubt my go-to weapon. This is me defending the drill by myself on solo, the second counter of the raid, for about 5.5 minutes here. I mean, if you're defending the drill past 3 minutes, your team's doing something wrong. So the fact that I'm sitting here 2 minutes over that by myself, and the drill is not even half health yet, just shows how powerful this weapon is. And the fact that they gave it the cryo arrow, and the cryo arrow now actually works properly and slows your enemies, just makes this even more disgusting, because you combine that with the Electrician's 4-star mod, which stuns enemies. So you're stunning them, you're freezing them, they can't move, they can't do anything. You're also able to sneak. Actually, you count on the first, second, and third encounter, and here I am doing it on the third encounter. So I mean, it's definitely the pinnacle of sneak weapons. Without a doubt, the best weapons in the game, in my opinion. But since they don't really work in every single situation, I can't put them any higher on the list, because the number 1 and number 2 weapons are just that good. I mean, you can really use those anywhere. But The bow is still, without a doubt, in my opinion, the third best weapon in the entire game, just because of how strong it is and how high the ceiling is on this weapon. I mean, if you get a bow, I don't want to be dramatic or anything, but you may never go back to a regular weapon ever again, because it's going to do the same job that weapon can do, but like infinitely better. So for those reasons, I have it at number 3. Moving on to number 2, we have everyone's favorite heavy weapon, even though it was recently nerfed, the Gauss minigun. Yes, the good old Gauss minigun. This thing is without a doubt a beast, a disgusting abomination of mankind. This thing puts in an immense amount of work in every single situation you can be in. If you're a heavy gunner who uses power armor, for example, this is going to be your go-to weapon for really any situation in the game. It's going to have the highest DPS, the highest damage output. It's just that good. This thing is just on a whole nother level. Completely disgusting. I can't recommend it enough. You definitely want to grind out that Raider favor rank, or I think Minerva also sells it sometimes. Watch out for those sales, because you will not want to miss this thing. Once you have it, you'll never go back to any other heavy gun, because they just don't compete with this. The Pepper Shaker competes a little bit, but And the number 1, I'm sure so many people are shocked to see this weapon at number 1. The number 1 best weapon in Fallout 76 is without a doubt the Elder's Mark. This gun is on another level of stupid. This thing outperforms every commando weapon by a landslide. It's not even close. This thing is on another playing field. This thing is playing a different sport than the other commando weapons. This thing has no competition. It is without a doubt the best weapon in the entire game. Inside a sneak, outside a sneak, it does not matter. This thing puts in work 25, 30. It does not care. This thing will destroy everything in front of it. It has so much build diversity. It will work inside of power armor, out of power armor, inside a sneak, outside a sneak. You can bring this thing anywhere and be perfectly fine. It is just that good of a weapon, and not to mention that this is a free weapon. You can get this thing for free anytime you want by getting it from the Beast of Burdens event. So I just cannot justify putting it any lower than number 1. It is a close competition between it and the Gauss minigun, since they are very similar in the fact that they just outcompete their competition by so much, but I'm sure no one's surprised to see this thing this high up. And with that, that has been my top 5 weapons in Fallout 76 as of 2026, or at least May of 2026. Who knows what could change in the next coming months. But those have been the top 5 weapons in my opinion. If you disagree, let me know down in the comments. If I taught you something you didn't know, also let me know that down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. I'll be making more content like this, of course. I have the Pistols Ultimate Series Guide coming out here probably later this week. I already got the footage and everything. Just got to put it all together. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys in this video. I do have a video about my thoughts on the Infestations update coming out here probably right after this one, maybe a day or two from now. I have some thoughts I'd like to share about the update. It's an interesting update. I'll just leave it like that. It's interesting. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.